Hello and welcome and welcome and hello and welcome and hello and welcome. Oh, we're joined by a boisterous live studio audience. It is electric in here, let me tell you. Actually, I'm staring at a beige wall, ready to bash my head inside of a desk drawer. But anyway, that's neither here nor there, guys. Welcome to Un Poco Mas, the show where we give you just a little bit more. And let me say, just by way of introduction, how rude of me. Hello and welcome. Welcome and hello and welcome. Welcome and hello and welcome and hello. And just for good measure, hello and welcome. Thanks for tuning in. It's Un Poco Moss. We try to give you just a little bit more. Most days we fail miserably. Most days we couldn't even catch a cold, let's be honest. But yeah, Nio has been in big trouble lately, guys. So I just want to talk about the stock, talk about my take on it. I'm often quite contrarian in the sense that I believe that market makers go ahead and push stocks up when they shouldn't be up, push people into them, then crash them on some event, catalyst, made up narrative, whatever it might be. And oftentimes, market makers will completely avoid a stock just because there's so much uncertainty. You pile on the fact that Neo is a Chinese company, all the regulation, you had, war going on in Ukraine, there's just a ton of geopolitics, not even getting into Taiwan, but then you get into the tariff wars, all this stuff. It's just been a hell of a time to invest in Chinese companies. There was fears about delisting a couple, last year with, the accounting stuff and how they wouldn't let auditors in and all, it's just on and on and on. There's all kinds of pitfalls and uncertainty investing in China. And a lot of people just won't touch it. I know, I think it was Deuce Kabuski was saying, Uncle Bruce says, stay away from China. I respect Uncle Bruce, but I just try to do a risk reward thing. I know being a Chinese company increases things on the risk side, but I think, this is the wild west of EV. This is where EV history is being made. This is where the market's being driven forward. I'm a huge, car fan, car guy from way back. I love EVs, love the EV revolution. I was invested in Tesla in 2016. Not a fortune. A small amount. I'm not like some, Lambro or anything, but the point is I've been sort of an early adopter and an early investor. And anyway, blah, blah, blah. I want to talk about Neo, guys, because I think so many U-turners are missing the point on this. Everybody talked about the fact that, deliveries went from 40,000 to 37,000 or whatever it was. And they kind of freaked out about it without really diving down or drilling down. Let me get out the Tevis 3000 2.0.
Let's really drill down on this.
Yes, let's really drill down on this Tevis 3000 2.0, who leads a team. And it's I gotta comment. Tevis is very striking with that mustache. I felt like he was morphing from a young Elvis into a young Rosie O'Donnell. And now I don't know the guy. I don't know if he's on Ozempic or it's just tanning. I don't know what it is, but Tevis is looking, younger and better than ever. He looks like Zorro mixed with like Eric Estrada or like a young Errol Flynn. I don't know, man. That guy morphs. Like one day he looks sick and one day he looks like a male model. So I don't know, Tevis. Anyway, that's just my comment on Tevis' appearance. It's really, neither here nor there. But the reason I kind of brought that up is because actually Tevis's new mustache moved him up about 2 points in the SoFi U-Turner power rankings. Tevis just jumped from like 6 to 4 on the back of that mustache. So we salute you, good sir. Anyway, let's talk Neo. So here's the critical thing, guys. They're just to put it in stupid terms, and I know most of you guys who are Neo investors will find this very, very obvious, but it seems like people don't. So they're selling more ES8s up to almost 11,000 units in November, and they're saying they're going to build about 20,000 of them in December. And so people are saying, how are they going to get profitable? Well, they're also projecting that the gross vehicle margin is going to go from 14 to 18. And why? Because this new vehicle that's becoming their best-selling vehicle overnight, and there's endless demand for, is an almost $60,000 vehicle, and it has over 20% margin. Now, if you compare that to a Firefly, which is a $17,000 vehicle and has a 10% margin, you can see on each ES8, you're making, 6 times 2, 12,000. Just this is just obviously some ballpark napkin math, but on a Firefly, you're making 17 times 10 or 1,700. So you have to sell 3 or 4 Fireflies to make the revenue of one ES8, and then you have to sell, 8 or more Fireflies to make the profit of one ES8. I mean, do people judge Mercedes on the fact that they don't deliver as many vehicles as Toyota? Or do people have a fundamental understanding and grasp on reality, the laws of gravity? Are they man boobing for fun and profit? And do they not understand it's far better to actually sell less luxury cars with really high margins? Why do you think all the companies want to sell trucks and SUVs? Because they're expensive. They have high margins. Why everybody's abandoned the economy car? You can't even buy an economy car anymore. They all stopped making them. Like the Nissan Sentra now is the size of a Cadillac, like a Cadillac Cimarron. Ye of the 80s fame. That Cadillac Cimarron? Basically, it's not even an Oldsmobile, like a Tansiera. You guys like the movie Fargo? I do. Anyway, so like the deliveries don't matter. It's in fact way better to deliver less really high-end vehicles at much, much higher margins than it is to deliver a bunch of, Envos or whatever. It's just, the Envos, even the margin is way, way less because, battery as a service, that's a $30,000 vehicle. It's almost twice the price. And because of the demand, you don't have to do any of the discounts, right? I mean, this thing looks like $1 million. Pulled up in 1 million trucks. Smelling, feeling like $1 million. Is that ludicrous? Okay, so they delivered 10,677 units of the ES8. This marks the highest monthly delivery record for ES8, Nio's first mass production model since deliveries began in June 2018, representing a 59.29% increase from October's delivery units. Okay, ES8 deliveries contributed 30% of Nio Inc.'s total units delivered, its highest share since October 2020. The SUV accounted for 58% of Nio brand deliveries. I mean, guys, these numbers speak for themselves. The ES8, they cannot keep this thing in stock, and they're just going to build it and sell it as many as they can all through next year. Everybody's going to want this vehicle. Get an ultra high-end vehicle for a great price point that can battery swap with the only viable, battery swap network in China. Everybody wants this thing. My sources in China say, this is the hottest vehicle there is. Maybe outside of a couple of those, special edition Huey or whatever the fuck, From January to November, cumulative ES8 deliveries reached 24,459 units, marking a 200% year-on-year increase. Okay, I mean, with the relaunch, you expect all this. So Nio's officially launched a third-generation ES8. It announced delivery had reached 20,000 units, making it the fastest pure electric model priced above 56,000 to surpass this milestone in Chinese market, the history of the Chinese market. So Nio reiterated this milestone today, saying the golden age of the 3-row pure electric SUV has arrived. And I think they're saying, all these companies that are clamoring to start building, the hybrids, the extended range, I think they're really barking up the wrong tree, and they're wasting a hell of a lot of resources that in just a few years are going to be totally sunk and irrelevant. Now, they might move some units, but they're not going to get a lot of margin on those units because there's way too many, squirrels competing for that nut. It's just, I think Nio's on the right track. I think Nio's playing the long game. I think they have been since the beginning. I think they, plan their work their plan, and they don't just respond to all the stimuli. They don't get into all the price wars. Nio knows what they own. They know what they are. Nio has, I would say, the most compelling vehicles in any segment. And what people don't realize about Nio is, yes, they're not moving a ton of units compared to, obviously, companies like BYD and Chang'an and Chery and all the other giants. But what they are doing is they are capturing a very high percentage of the market share in the high end, vehicles, 40,000, 45,000, 50,000, 60,000. And then they have these, $100,000 plus sedan, and then they're going to have a $100,000 plus SUV that's supposedly, I guess, coming out next year. And so I believe Nio has some of the most compelling, sought after. People love Firefly. They're putting out a special edition Envo Black Knight. I mean, Nio does things for customers. Nio is a very customer oriented company. I think that's another part of their USP, their ecosystem. It's not just swap. It's how the company is oriented around the consumer, giving the consumer a premium product for the lowest price point, possible, while still, I think remaining true to shareholders and investors. Because if you can move these margins, to 8, and this is what I'm quoting here, obviously, Nio management expected fourth quarter vehicle margins to rise to around 18%, up from 14.7 in the third quarter, with ES8's gross margin expected to exceed 20%. So despite what the market's telling you and despite the price action, everything is finally trending in the right direction for Nio. Not just deliveries, but sales. That's what matters. Would you rather, as a salesman, would you rather sell, 10 oranges or one house? I mean, think about it. It's just this logical fallacy, the way these companies are priced. And they were pricing it against Lee, which is selling hybrids, and nobody even wants that shit anymore. They got to sell smart glasses to showcase their AI. And I know their AI is really good, but it's much like full self-driving. Like a lot of people, they want to drive their own car, and Elon Musk is shocked. Why doesn't everybody want to license full self-driving from me? Because people don't care about that right now. People want to drive their own car, and they don't want to pay an extra $8,000 or $10,000 for something, they don't understand and they feel like might be of marginal utility. Now, if you're somebody who's stuck in traffic or, monotonous, or you want to, do a little work or play a little pocket pool on the way to the office, there's no substitute for Tesla full self-driving. It's like, all the other driving aids are, for suckers. Tesla full self-driving is the only game in town in terms of actually driving the car end to end itself. Now, I know a lot of the Chinese companies are supposed to be, competing on an even playing field there, but we just don't have access to those vehicles in the United States. So maybe some of my European viewers, some of my friends, some of my Euros. Do you guys accept Euros or Bitcoins? No, we don't. I wasn't aware. Anyway, I love German tourists. Blanketing this area, blanketing the beach cities. So many German tourists. I don't know where they all come from. I guess Germany. Anyway, what's up? I reached out. First name I see is the great Billy Jack, 2010. What's up, Billy Jack? Oh, my SoFi bag looks sexy. I bet it does, good sir. It's full of Chick-fil-A on the way to that booty call. That was a funny bit. Billy Jack loading up on fast food on the way to a booty call. I don't know why I find that funny. It's like, didn't you rush right over, sexy? He's like, what is that on your shirt? You're like, oh, that's honey mustard. Stop for a 5-pack of tenders. Let's get down to business, sweetie. I know, I'm just joking. Billy Jack's probably a happily married man. I have no idea. Just bits I make up. They have nothing to do with the real person. It's just a caricature. Anyway, what's up, Billy Jack? The great Not a Lurker has joined us. Somebody I think was impersonating Not a Lurker is talking to me on Stock Twits. Like, I'm not a lurker, but I want to do this. So Not a Lurker is getting puns and callbacks, and he's famous in his own right. Perfectly symmetrical head, that Not a Lurker. Steve in the Mountains is here. The great Steve in the Mountains. Hey, Big D, you're a big hit in Sweden. Everyone there thinks you look like a 10th century Viking. They have fat Vikings. The Vikings were very lean. I was watching a show on, and thank you, Steve. I appreciate that. I was watching a show on how the Vikings crossed the North Atlantic Ocean on like these flat boats with oars, and they used no fire whatsoever. They just slept on deck in like furs. These Vikings I don't know what the fuck. Was that like Leif Erikson? How is that even possible? I can't even go out and throw something in the trash in like a balmy mid-60s evening without going full Karen about how cold it is and how my joints hurt. Fucking Vikings. These people are men. These are men of men. I'm so sick of everybody complaining about everything all the time. Smallest little thing, doesn't go your way. Your internet goes out. You have to wait in line. Somebody cuts you off in traffic. It's like people are just looking for any reason to be outraged and be a victim and just, cry out on social media for attention. Do you know what happened to me today? I don't know. Did you get run over by a bus? No. Damn. Get back out there, kid. Back out there and cross that highway. No, I hate your socials. Like, I don't have social media other than that. I don't know if this is considered social media, but I just nobody gives a fuck. Like, everybody's like the star of their own show, and and I know this is like perhaps a bit rich coming from a fat U-turder who rambles on in a. Sorry if the sound is on, guys. I hope it's not. Maybe somebody would have told me. My ex is lighting up when Danny talks about IOVA. It's IOVA. IOVA. Yeah, no. IOVA is an incredible company, guys. Lung cancer cure. They're looking at cervical cancer. They already have an FDA-approved cure for it. Everybody's so surprised. Like, oh, they guided for 450 million in sales, and they're only, now they lowered to 250 to 350 last quarter. And they're only going to, they reaffirmed that guidance. Everybody's up in arms. Like, this is their first cure. This is their first FDA approval, their first ramp as a company. They have some bozo interim CEO. I'm sure he's a very intelligent guy. I'm just, or woman. I don't know who it is. I have read and researched the company. I can't remember, guys. I research hundreds and hundreds of penny stocks all the time. So once I do my DD, and I know management's an issue on this one and everybody's talking about that, but I think the CFO they brought in, she's doing an incredible job with the cost controls. They're increasing sales. I think things are really trending in a positive direction for IOVA. I know it's not perfect. I know there are growing pains. I know we'd all like to see more sales, double the sales. I know we'd all like to see Canada and EU done and dusted. We'd all like to see that, but that's just not reality. But they are going to approve this drug for melanoma. Why? Because it works. And there are no alternatives. And people who are heavily treated and aren't responding, they're going to die without this drug. It's bottom line. They are sitting on cures for cancer. That's it. Scoreboard, mic drop. Growing pains aside, financial stuff aside, I know some of the guys on Stock Twits are talking about how they keep, sort of drip dilution with the at the money offering. And they, sold 4 million shares last quarter. And it's basically slow dilution so they can, keep their cash reserves up and say we have a runway. Well, you don't really have a runway if you keep diluting with an at the money, right up our, wazoo, high and tight, if you know what I mean. So they have good points. People have good points. But again, they have novel TIL therapy. You know what these things, instead of chemotherapy going in and destroying everything with fucking laser beams attached to sharks, this amplifies the body's own immune response. And yes, they have to take it outside and manufacture it, but it just fights the cancer in a much more natural, much less toxic way. It's an incredible technology. It's an incredible breakthrough. And Iovance is right on the forefront, right on the cusp of greatness. I'm on the air. I'm on the air. Oh, glory. So double wide, just quoting Lady Gaga there for you, the great Lady Gaga. So they already got approved for melanoma last year. They're doing about 100 treatments. Here's the key. They're moving everything. This is a very expensive, time consuming. There's it was like a 5-week turnaround. They're getting to 3 weeks to manufacture, the drug in the lab. They're moving everything in-house. Okay. Sorry guys, this became the IOVA show, but people are interested. People want to know about it. The stock's going to make a huge move. Not financial advice. NAFAFEPO. NAFAFEPO. Not financial advice for entertainment purposes only. Don't sue me, bro. I'm allowed to say what I want, dude. First Amendment. I don't have to answer questions. Fifth Amendment. Can't take stuff. Fourth Amendment. Name and badge number. Name and badge number. Sir, this is a Dairy Queen. All right, then I'll take a Blizzard. Still want your name and badge number? Still want to speak to your supervisor? I'm not a policeman. I'm a 16-year-old girl making ice cream. All right, where do I make a complaint? All right, I love First Amendment auditors. They're my people. No plan B. So what's anything going on? So guys, the point is everybody's hung up on this sales number when they're making a hell of a lot more revenues because they're selling a bunch of ES8s, which is very expensive, high margin vehicle. It's not that complicated. Nio's strategy is brilliant. They didn't go after the $10,000 car. Even on the economy side, they're making a premium vehicle. They're not, shooting for the lowest common denominator. They're not trying to compete with, Yugo and, some of these other vehicles. The original Hyundai Excel or Accent that cost like $4,000. Just felt like a death trap. Now Hyundai makes great cars now, but back in the day, I'll tell you, those things were scary. But when you get a brand new car for $5,000, I mean, this was back like in the 80s when Hyundai done come to America, threw down the gauntlet. Anyway, so they got the melanoma drug approved, and now basically they're going back with their lung cancer data, having conversation with the FDA. They got approval on the melanoma based on a trial of 73 patients. So they're saying just to get the lung cancer potentially approved, they might just need 80 patients to gain an accelerated approval, because again, there's this huge unmet need. I mean, they're not going in as a frontline, treatment, which they can and they should on melanoma. This should go in with, I forget what it's called, Keytruda. I can't remember scientific names, guys. I'm a big dumb idiot. But no, there's this drug Keytruda. I think they use it on a bunch of different cancers. If I've got the wrong name, I apologize. But then also with chemotherapy. So basically how they're testing their drug right now, or not testing it, how they're using it, is when basically everything else has failed on these heavily, treated patients. And that's amazing that they're getting the response rate that they are, because nothing else was working. At least that's my understanding. Now, as far as when lung cancer could actually get approved, the company is saying theoretically it could be like a year or two, because, the data comes back, relatively quickly. And again, they have quite a bit of data already, but it's, relatively small sample. So I don't know if that's right. I don't know if they could actually get that approval for the lung cancer indication that quickly. But again, they're going to move all manufacturing in-house near the beginning of 2026. That's going to lower their costs, increase their turnaround time, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Sorry, I got very, very sidetracked, but my brain is a hamster on crack, and that's just how it is. But that's a beautiful car. I mean, so many of these cars they put out are just ugly. This is a great car. Now, even the Envo, the front end's a little bit awkward. It's just a beautiful vehicle. If you start to look at this level on Nio, this is a pretty critical level. Now, it first crashed down below here, I would say, April 2024. And with a few peaks above, this has really sort of functioned as kind of a waffly, soft, porous resistance line. I mean, you could see the vast majority of the time the stock hangs out under this line, the last year and 3/4 or whatever, and then popped up and then makes this beautiful, perfect, 3-hump middle finger, sort of long, slow plateau, pump and dump situation. Almost, I think, did a touch 8, almost touched 8, touch 750 back here, and then just, sold off. You notice the volume is much higher coming in, going up, and then you see this little formulaic drift there. This is a very, formulaic move. It consolidated at this level before dropping, consolidated at that level again right there. And you see how consistent the angles are on these little steps here. Same angle here going the other way. Even this little one is the same angle. So Algo is working very, very hard on Nio. It never stops working on Nio, quite frankly. Interesting factoids, guys. Institutional ownership for the first time really in forever, besides this little uptick, is up quite a bit. Now, that was based on, I think they finally recognized that investment from, I don't know, what was it, the Middle Eastern Fund, Hong Kong? I have to look back, but this is, the most institutional ownership the stock has seen since the middle of 2024, which has just been in free fall. So this is very, very, very important towards stabilizing the stock. And notice the timing. Like, notice all these trends going in the right direction. Notice all the pain is over. Retail took all the pain. You guys got bent over a barrel for a guided tour of the 50 states while, Goldman and the boys were drinking champagne. They sold their shares at the top, left you here to rot. baby. To quote the Big Bopper. But so that's just, I don't know what it means, but it's a very important data point. You saw Goldman loading a ton of shares last quarter. Many of the other big boys were loading up. So that's the first time the negative trend has, sort of reversed itself. And then in terms of short interest, this is quite interesting because you see huge borrowing today. You see quite a bit of shorting today. And then you see on the official reports, this is the first time in 7 reports that the short interest has actually gone up. So short interest has been falling, and then 2 weeks ago starts to go back up. As they're pushing, you'd think, okay, short interest would be increasing from the top from around 7, but I don't know. The shorts have a lot of other things going on. It never works just the way I think it should work. That's for sure. But another just data point on the short interest, 158 million shares sold short and only 95 million shares on loan. This type of disparity is just, in my experience, my trading experience, it's indicative that they're not going to attack the stock. They don't have the shares on loan. Cost to borrow is obviously very low. There's a billion trillion shares, so they can short it anytime they want. It doesn't cost much. But do you want to short this stock from under 5 when 5 could have just flipped? Maybe not necessarily, but this is what remains to be seen. You see the stock just, hitting this line. What does it do? If it crashes back down below, you have to hope it finds some kind of hope at 4, or else we're just shit out of luck. We're up a creek without a paddle. It's tough. It's already tough. It's already tough times. But anyway, it is what it is, guy. I mean, people, all you can do, you can't sell now at 7. You wish you had, but you can't. What you have to do, decide now, do you want to dump under 5? I don't think that makes a hell of a lot of sense because everything is finally trending in the right direction. They're selling more cars, more expensive cars. There's demand for their cars. They're putting out special editions. They're far more focused. They're cutting costs. They have no plan B. William Lee said there's no plan B. We are going to break even next quarter. We're going to be profitable next year. These other EV companies, like American companies, Lucid, Rivian, they could be lighting massive piles of cash on fire just with gasoline. It was just, the market would still give them, better multiples than it gives some of these Chinese companies. And then a lot of the Chinese companies, I think, are losing focus faster than their, Nio has gained focus. I think Lee, yes, AI is very important. They want to be, an AI company, but I think, notice how that narrative they're putting out there has corresponded with their vehicle sales just absolutely crashing and their name becoming mud. And I was like, oh, we're a glasses company. Nio already tried that with the phones. I mean, I don't think it's going to help you move units in terms of cars, the smart glasses. And do you want to be locked into your car's AI ecosystem? Is that better than Baba or, Google or, one of these other tech giants in China? I don't know them all. But I just don't know how much sense it makes that, your vehicle is necessarily the center of your whole digital life. I think your vehicle should complement your digital life, but I don't think it should try to take over your life. Know what I mean? Know what I mean? You guys like all-terrain vehicles? You guys want to join my bowling league? That's not so far. Thank you. Great Princess J, everybody. The Great Princess J. In the house. Studio audience. Princess J and Cutes. Anyway, welcome and hello, guys. Of course, we have people here. Welcome back. So I don't know. It's just, my thought is, this is huge retracement off the highs. I mean, this is more than retracement. This is a freaking free fall. But the way up was the same thing, big pump. So you have to kind of expect there's 2 big pumps, 2 dumps. I mean, 2-3 steps up, 1 step down. I hope another step is coming. It looks like it. I mean, how many sellers are there of this stock under 5? Are people just thinking it's in free fall and they're just looking to bail out at any price they can get? I don't see why. I mean, if these trends, these margins, these sales, if this was an American company, I swear the market cap would be 10 times this. It would just be some completely loopy, irrational, tiny wang market cap. But because it's in China, I mean, people are like, oh, China's not a real place. This isn't real money. These aren't real cars. It's all made up accounting. I don't think so. China's the EV market. It's the EV market of record. It's the only place that matters. We're turning our back on electric cars because of some weird politics that doesn't even make any sense. Like, it's not a political issue. It's better. It's better for everything. Better for the consumer, better for the environment, better for Bob, and I know people are going to argue, okay, EV batteries take a lot of research. I know there are negatives. I understand that, guys. But long term, they will get the batteries to where they're not producing as much, externalities or whatever you call it. It's just the future. Everybody sees it. Everybody sees it. Maybe Toyota doesn't see it. But even the American car companies see it. I mean, they had to pull back on their EV strategy, but they're going to go back full throttle because the oceans can't keep us apart, to quote the old love ballad. I would walk 100 miles. Hey there, Delilah, all that bullshit. Rocky Mountain High. Anyway, rest in peace, John Denver. Let's see. What else was I going to talk about? I have no idea. So institutional ownership up, margins up, revenues are clearly going to be way up. I mean, if they deliver, do the math. If they're able to deliver 20,000 ES8s in Q4, look at what that's going to do to revenue. Look at what that's going to do to margin. That's how they get profitable, by selling less of the low margin junk and more of the high margin cream. Don't forget the cream. That crazy Colonel guy and that, what's that? Quentin Tarantino. Bastards and Glorious Bastards. Tut, tut, tut. You must wait for the cream. That guy's really annoying. He's an annoying actor. He's also in Django. I know he's good. What's his name? I don't know. Is he German or is he just doing an accent? Waltz? I think it's Waltz. Anyway. Waltzing Matilda. How big am I? I like to say I'm running about 6 foot, 6'1", running about 3 1/4, running about 3 bills, 0.25. I used to be very, very strong. Now I'm just a big fat turd, big hunched over old man. Anyway, no, I'm pretty big for a little guy. Anyway, around here they call me Big Pump, hit you with the big dump. Thanks, John Vaughn. How's it going, man? I'm not a trader. I just buy and sell all the time, like a hamster on crack, and lose a lot of money. But I'm a long-term investor. I haven't owned any stock longer than a week. Just desperately day trading, but I'm a long-term investor. Everybody's just lying to themselves. Look back at your year end, you're just buying, selling, washing, losing a fortune. Go home and tell the wife you're just holding Google. Yeah, I'm just holding steady. No losses here. Meanwhile, you're just hemorrhaging money in like Shiba Inu and Bitminer. You suck. It's a lot of beefcake. It's a lot of man meat. It's a flabalanche. It's your basic flabalanche. Nio sales in Europe have been very disappointing. That's true. Perhaps, but also they don't have swap. I mean, Nio came, their entire, raison d'etre was swap. That's their whole USP. And then that was the same when they introduced fireflys. Oh, this is going to be on CATL's network, and it's going to be on our own network. So it's been a big kind of rug pull, bait and switch, promise a good, manageable average weighing and come in with a tiny yemyak. So it's been just a big disappointing, fugazi bait and switch. Finding out your wedding ring is a cubic zirconia on your, 40th anniversary. That type of situation. But yeah, even so, all rationalizations, excuses aside, that's extremely disappointing. 6 units. I mean, you'd hope they at least sell a couple hundred. But did they just have a few units available? I don't know how many units they had for export. I know Firefly is selling quite well in China also. It seems like sales keep increasing. But yeah, no way to sugarcoat it. 6 units. That's dog poo. You can count that on one hand plus your schlong. Keep your other hand free, just in case you need to hitchhike. Give somebody a high five. Don't use your schlong hand. Wash that thing. Nobody likes a schlongy high five. Hey, man, congratulations. Oh, thanks, buddy. Just have your hand down your pants. Yeah. Anyway, there really was no point to this video other than just to touch the table. Just want to talk Nio. People are like, oh, did you sell all your Nio share? I wish I did. I wish I dumped them at 8 now that it's, in the 4. No, not really. Not really, because I probably wouldn't have bought back. I probably would have lost interest in the stock. I really believe this thing has a future. It's the chips. The chips are more cost effective, more efficient than NVIDIA for automotive applications. There's so many things this company can do that it's sort of just starting to do or just kind of on the precipice of doing. I think the pain is mostly behind us finally with this company. But that's when everybody gives the exact same thing they did with SoFi. They went through all the growing pains. They went through all the bad times. And just when the company was finally starting to do really, really well, everybody started with a dead stock narrative. So I think this is a very similar situation. I think market makers create this narrative, create this huge drop. Hey, hold on, guys. Hold on. I'll be right back. Sorry about that, guys. Welcome and hello once again. It's great to have me back. Studio audience, once again, standing ovation. Labo, I can't even read your name. I'm not that intelligent. You, sir, are the most intelligent person. Let's show this comment, guys. This guy sounds brilliant. You, sir, are the most intelligent person. You with such ease and hit the nail on the head so well, literally every time. You keep the truth out there. That's very kind of you to say, but I am clearly not the most intelligent person. I'm funny and I have a really good gift for gab. I was a national champion debater. I'm smart enough, but I'm definitely not as smart as some of these spreadsheet guys. But I'm funny. I'm extremely handsome. Don't let my looks fool you. You never know it by looking at me, but I'm very handsome. No, but thanks, Labo. I really appreciate that. All I try to do is tell you what I'm really thinking. I have absolutely no agenda. Like, oh, it's a scam. I'm not asking for anything. I don't have a members. I mean, some of these guys, like, okay, maybe they're good, but to me, it's like I'm just an average idiot. How arrogant would I have to be? Like, you have to pay a membership to hear what I have to say, or give me a fucking break. I should pay you to listen to all my psychosis. I do. I mean, I sent you guys some t-shirts way back in the day. I have a few more Hurricane Lopez t-shirts. I promised the European guys I was going to send them over there. I never got around to it. It wasn't the money. It's just such a pain in the ass. You got to sit there at the post office and do each one. It's like a customs thing. If it was just pay $50 and send each one, I would do it in a heartbeat. Believe me, I have more money than time. I have more time than common sense. I have more fat than time. I don't know, but thanks, Labo. I haven't even looked at the fireside chat yet, guys. I mean, evidently it didn't go that well. They really stepped on SoFi today, didn't they? Stock keeps looking like it's going to break through 30, and then the NASDAQ was inching up all day, and then they were just stepping on SoFi's nuts. I didn't get it. I didn't get the price action. I didn't like the price action. I didn't like it one bit. Yeah, I'll take a look double wide, and then I'll do a dude, I didn't realize double wide, you have a huge channel. Is that you? You repair mobile homes or something? So you got like hundreds of thousands of subs. Got a huge set on you, man. All right. Anyway, I didn't know I had any subscribers. Then I looked at my list. I was like, oh, some of these guys have a huge channel. Yeah, badass. Good for you. Hey, if you guys haven't subscribed, go subscribe to these guys because I appreciate my viewers and my subscribers. So if any of these guys have big channels, whether you're interested in it or not, just sub and like, help a brother out. It's not that easy. I mean, my channel is a piece of crap, but a lot of other people put a lot of time and effort into it. I just basically talk so I don't drive my beautiful partner completely crazy. But anyway, I'm sure Tevis had a good video review. That's why he's moving up in the SoFi U-Turd power rankings. I'm just tentative right now, but I still have Tanner at number 1. It's because he was SoFi Weekly. He had me on. He turned me on to a lot of good stocks. And he's kind of like the nexus, of where I sort of got into a lot of these fintech U-Turders. So, turn me on to Tevis, turn me on to Steve, turn me on to Roy. All get kind of flowed through Tanner. But I feel like Tevis is just as responsible as Tanner. But Tanner just kind of takes that starring role, the Batman to Tevis's Robin, or, I don't know, the Bo to his Luke, or I don't know, whatever the fuck. The Bo to his Enos. Enos or Roscoe P. Coltrane. You guys like the Dukes of Hazzard? No, boss. I do impressions of everybody on that show, but I won't. What was that other guy's name? Crazy Cooter. A lot of good people. Anyway, the South. That was like most people in Cal. That's what we actually think of, like the South. People just jumping cars around. People have no. It's funny as you go down south, people have such better manners. They sound way better educated than like people in the sort of elitist, leftist enclaves. Like, you come down, you're like, "What's up, bro?" And he's like, "Well, hello, good sir. Pleasure to meet you. Nice to make your acquaintance. Welcome to our home." And you go, "Dumb Southern bumpkin." People are just so caught up in their own shit. It's so stupid. Sniffing your own farts and a narcissistic whiff, judging others, not even judging a book by its cover, just judging a book without ever even seeing a book, not even knowing how to read. Anyway, guys, this show is terrible. Just putting that out there. Ladies and gentlemen. Yeah. So I have Tanner at number 1. They just edged out Luke from Stealth Wealth Investing because Luke has a huge channel and he's just so damn logical and sensible in the stuff that he talks about. He's like, just settle down, do research, make a plan. Plus, Luke almost got in there because he's like very vascular. Based on the amount of sun he's getting and how he's always trying to do like a semi bicep pump without looking like he's doing a pump just to get that vein up. It's like, come on. I'll get more subs on my course, get that a little more vascular. But he looks like he could be like a rock climber, perhaps a fly fisherman. I don't know, an underwater welder, maybe a thoracic surgeon, perhaps a patent attorney. I don't know. A landscape architect. Who knows? But anyway, I like his channel. And his SoFi content is absolutely great. Number 3, I think I have to go Stock Goat. Kyle the Stock Goat just doesn't get any better than Kyle. I love his YouTube. He's kind of inspired me to make a channel. He's just a regular guy. He's a really smart guy. I think people really underestimate him because he's a little bit plain spoken. Maybe doesn't have a PhD, but very intelligent guy. Really, really enjoy his content. Really enjoy his delivery, his passion. He probably more than anybody kept the SoFi community together. When, even people like the great Canadian FinTurd Mafia were doing dead stock videos. Even the great Steve, the big sexy, he even went from strong buy to buy at one point. I'll never forgive you, Steve. No, I will. I'll forgive you. Made a lot of money on PayPal. Sold it. Went from like, I don't know, low 50s, 70s. Dumped that shit. Anyway, made a lot of money doing the same on New, like from 10 to 15. Dumped. Should have kept it. Just kept going back up. But I'll probably buy back into New. It's a good company. I don't think they're going to threaten SoFi. Stay in your lane. Noto's got this. Great hair, great windbreaker. Let's see, guys. Yeah, just take a couple of stiff drinks. Flip Top's got the right idea. Drink until she's pretty. Let's see. Need 5,000 subs. You said that last year, not a lurker. Nobody subs. Every time I make a video, I lose like 2 subs. I just stop making videos. I get more subs. Nobody wants this content. Nobody likes this content. People can barely tolerate this content. My audience analytics suggest it not only has the tiniest weighing on YouTube, the least patience, the smallest portfolio, the poorest self-esteem. Did I mention the tiniest weighing? Just curious. But I don't know how they get such specific analytics. They follow you guys into your gym locker rooms out the 24-hour shitness. Planet Fitness. How many of you have been a Planet Fitness member for like the last 7 years and haven't gone? But you just rationalize that by saying it's only $10 a month. But you could have had like $800 back if you're just honest with yourself that you weren't going to hit that treadmill. Hit the lunk alarm. There's a fat guy in here. There's supposed to be fat guys. Planet Fitness, a judgment-free zone. Yeah, but he's fat. Sounds like you're judging me. No, I'm just pointing out in a very derogatory, snarky manner that you have a weight problem. That sounds like judgment. No. It's merely an observation. Oh, an observation with sort of a narrative and a, sort of sprinkled a little of your own, flavor on top of the observation there, didn't you? Didn't you there? Let's get sick of being, I'm always like, people like, oh, it's embarrassing to go to the gym. It's embarrassing not to go. Work on your problems. Start where you're at. That's the only place you can start. And I mean, I'm one to talk, but I'm actually losing a few pounds again. I got to start the weight checking. I thought that would help me with not credibility. What's the other word? What's the word I'm looking for? Where you hold accountability, but it didn't, because you're only accountable to yourself. I don't give a fuck what you guys think. Are you guys going to not, think I'm fat? I think my body type, those of us who are just striving to have a dad bod. I'm a bit of a pear shape, okay? When I had my one kid, I cut my hair real short and bought a giant 9-passenger SUV, okay? Listen, officer, I'm on a cell phone here. I know I was speeding the wrong way down a runway street, but my kid's late for soccer practice, and I'm here in an SUV on a cell phone, okay? Fucking Karens. Everybody's so important these days. Big fucking SUV. You need a Chevy Tahoe because you got one kid that plays soccer. What the fuck do you need a, half-ton truck that can tow 9,000 pounds because your one or two children are involved in athletics? Kids played sports before SUVs, before the Ford Explorer was launched in 1991 or whatever the fuck that was. And that was in a, incredibly important vehicle along with the Jeep Cherokee, kind of launched the SUV deal. But I mean, fuck, enough. And enough with you Tesla and Prius people speeding like lunatics everywhere. You got that hybrid Prius getting 70 miles to the gallon. Not if you're driving like a fucking lunatic everywhere. Get that thing on the floor. You'd be lucky you're getting 20 mpg. You're barely using the battery. And then these Tesla guys, you get a bunch of tiny wing, middle-aged accountants with male pattern baldness, and all of a sudden they've got the, dual motor sport model Y, and it goes 0 to 60 in like 3 seconds, and they have no idea how to drive a fast car. No idea. Just, hey, let me come to my little residential neighborhood and go, 70 miles an hour between every fucking stop sign until I fucking wipe out somebody. Hey, I'm just so sick of everybody, guys, especially drivers and people. I'm so tired of it. Just like, be a human being, okay? Realize there are other people out there. Don't kill any of them, just because you're a complete psycho. Slow for the cone zone. I don't know what happened, man. I think something was COVID. Like, people just stopped stopping at stop signs they're like, fuck it. We're all going to die of COVID. I'm just going to run every stop sign. And now you got the fucking little piggyback turtle that every fucking time you're at a 4-way stop They're the second car, and they just go right behind the other car. The old jam 'em and cram 'em. The old wazoo playbook. The old tailback in the 3-hole. Fullback lead. You know what I mean? I don't know. This obviously has nothing to do with Nio or Stock or anything else. Just my mental problems. Oh, yeah. Mr. P is great. I love Mr. P. He's one of my men in China. The guy's got a giant head for a Chinese guy, which I love. I love people with giant. I love like little babies, little kids with like giant heads. Like if you give me like a, little kid with a head that looks like he should just fall over from the weight of that big lead bowling ball. It's like a little tiny, it was like a little cartoon. I don't know why. Just big bobbleheaded kids and babies. They're the best. Probably because I had a giant fucking head. I got like a size 8 1/4 hat. When I get these trucker hats, I got to put it on one. I can only put it on one little. What's that thing called? The little indentation. What's the little male part called? The schlang part. A prim, a prick, a pup. I don't know. A pip. Whatever the fuck it is. A post. Can only put one of those in there, and it always breaks because I'm buying these cheap personalized trucker hats. So many of them. Nafa Feppo, by the way. Don't sue me, bro. Just talking. Felix impersonation? Hold on. Well, hello. I'm here in the south of France. It's like doing a bunch of Peruvian wham-wham. I love options. I love strangle plays. I love straddling. I'll straddle just about anything. No, I don't know. I love Felix. He's like, you guys don't even really know how to party. I've been a corporate attorney, a tax attorney. I'm down here in Monaco. Look at the really good drugs. No, I don't really do Felix. I have 7 golden retrievers. You have nothing. You have nothing. Nothing. No, Felix is a smart guy. Got great hair. Beautiful hair. Good looking dude. I mean, like I said, I'm not gay, but I'm extremely gay friendly and I do like to party. Take that as what you will. Hey, you send me a bus ticket, I'm probably taking the ride, if you know what I mean. You know what I mean? Pretty adventurous. Yeah. Felix, what did you do? I'm not in any way insinuating that Felix does tons and tons and tons of Peruvian wham-wham before his show and during his show. Nothing more I like to head down to Monaco, do a ton of Peruvian wham-wham with the golden retrievers. Take in a nice F1 race. Powder my hair. Put on a nice layer of white foundation. Sometimes he looks like he's wearing that like white makeup, like the old barristers used to wear with those like curls. I think he's wearing blush too, but whatever. Yeah, love me some Felix. He talked about SoFi. He could be in the running, but so I had who did I have so far? Sorry guys, this is so long and rambling, but I just don't care. This channel and show is horrible, and you can always go do something else, something productive, something useful. Kiss a girl, go to your second job at Subway. I take 2 buses to go from my job at Subway in Van Nuys to my job at Subway in Sherman Oaks. Weak. I met so many people now working at like 2 Subways or 2 Starbucks because they can't get the hours at once. They have to go to like a different district. So they have 2 part-time jobs for the same real company, but it's like a different, franchise or sub company or whatever, division, whatever the fuck. So you don't have to pay them like benefits or anything. It's fucked up. Oh man, it's totally funny. Felix is a big options guy. He does a course. He's a really smart guy, very smart guy. I know I used to watch his channel a lot. He was a corporate attorney, some kind of big advertising like guru. He's just a super, super intelligent guy. And he does, teaches you the option strategies where essentially you're betting that the stock is not going to do that much and you're selling options. It straddles, strangles, all that stuff. And, you're going for that 75-80% win rate, and you just make steady profits, all year. So he really seems like he knows his option stuff. As does Invest with Henry. Old hard nip Henry. Guy used to work at Goldman Sachs. I don't know if you knew that, but if you watch his channel for more than 10 seconds, he's going to tell you. But no, again, super, super smart guy. Goldman don't hire idiots. That's for sure. They hire winners, winners who want to make a lot of money, just like Anthony Noto. 2 stints at Goldman, my biological father. Evidently 1 stint in my mother, but no. Mrs. Noto, my apologies. It's a bit. What's up? Just want to play one. What's going on? No tracks full. What happened? Did Kramer become a Nio boy? Yeah. Would have killed the stock, that's for sure. The old Kramer curse. But it's all for the charitable trust. What the fuck? I don't know why people think that guy's so smart. I guess he made billions of dollars in his hedge fund or whatever, so must be a genius. Same with Kevin O'Leary. That guy's wearing so much makeup. He comes on. He looks like he's, just bleary-eyed, partied way too hard. They got to just make the guy up. Looks like a bird. Canadians hate that guy. Anyway. Kramer bullshit. Yeah, that's for sure flipped up. They did studies that his stock picks not only worse than the indexes, they're worse than you could possibly imagine. This was a long time ago, but they did an analysis of the stuff he throws out there, and it's just absolute garbage. I mean, you'd be much better off throwing feces at a dartboard or darts, but if you have feces on hand, it's an easy substitute. Maybe you don't have any darts, or you're intoxicated and you're worried about an injury. Just throw your own feces, clean it up the next day. Maybe your significant other will come home while you're passed out and clean it up for you. Kramer versus Kramer. Wasn't that a show in the 70s? Some kind of cop show? Watching my Nio turn to cornbread. Yeah, it is crumbling under pressure. But again, fundamentally, I just want to play. The company is doing really, really well. The fourth quarter, looking at a 3.5-point margin improvement they're projecting. Looking at, ES8 sales going from 10,000 range to the 20,000 range with a huge margin. That's how they get the margins. That's how they get to profitability next quarter. They sell 20,000 ES8s. And if they can build them, they can sell them. And they should already know they can build them because the limiting factor was the battery pack. They were battery pack constrained. So they got those bad boys humming. That liquid cooling. I got liquid cooled chonies. I got some cooling. I got one of those Tesla heat pump assemblies. Got that in a backpack. Pumps cold fluid down around my testicles all day long, keeping me fresh. I had Kimball Musk engineer that for me. Elon wasn't available, but Kimball was. I wish I was Kimball. Just getting hundreds of millions of dollars just for being a complete tan douche. I mean, I'm sure he's really smart and everything. He was the one who came out and said that they used to be illegal immigrants. Elon's like, shut up. It's like, no, we got student visas and we overstayed them by years. We were illegal immigrants. We are. He's like, no, shut up, Kimball. Shut up. It's like, no, Elon, seriously, it's the truth. We were illegal immigrants. We overstayed our student visa. Elon Musk was an illegal. Shut up, Kimball. Oh, what's going on? I don't know. I got 20 brandable things. Yeah, they can sell the chips. There's so many things Nio has going for them that just have not presented themselves yet. They have a master plan. They just don't release it as early as Tesla, So I just think this company is doing all the right things finally. They were so unfocused. They did so far afield, spending so much money, so much duplication, but it wasn't fatal. They realized it, they corrected it, and they had no choice because the competition is absolutely fierce. Anyway. I can't give up on Nio under 5. I can't quit this gay cowboy. I can't. Not under 5. Yeah, do I wish I dumped at 8? No, not really. I mean, I do because it's obviously, in retrospect, but I think the judgment was sound at the time. I think a lot of us thought it was going to go up through 10. Not right away. I still think it's going to go through 10, but I think if they can break even in Q4, that's massive because they had a long ways to go from Q3. Even if they're a hair under, I know the market's going to sell it off and, crap their pants and all that, but they're doing everything right now. And their vehicles are very, very compelling. They represent value proposition that no other company can even come close to touching. And I believe partner cars will be announced. I believe they are engineering those partner cars, but I think they wanted to, see some more sort of proof of concept before they stake their reputation on it. But I think the Chinese and different state governments that have been backing Nio and, Middle East and different, sovereign wealth funds, I think they can put their finger on the scale and get some of these big, huge state giants to be building some Nio partner cars because we need that. We need that for the economics of the swap stations. So we're now in the heavy populated areas where the swap stations are in heavy demand, they're fine. I mean, some of those swap stations are already profitable in the, very urban areas where there's high concentrations of Nio and Onvo ownership. But sort of on the more outlying areas, there's less swaps going on per day. It just doesn't make sense. They have to build out the network. They promised they were going to do it, but you need a lot more cars. I mean, Nio hasn't, what do they make? Not even 1 million cars yet. So it is what it is, guys. But I think everything that we liked about Nio, we like more right now. I mean, there's everybody loves swap. The swap is maturing. It works perfectly. The users love it. I mean, it has all sorts of benefits for everyone involved at every level, every decision maker, from the state to the company to partners to consumers to wives and mistresses and golden retrievers. It's hitting on all cylinders, but it's just, no pun intended, because obviously it's not ice. There are no cylinders. That's funny. An EV company's hitting on all cylinders. I didn't even think about that. Not that funny. Somewhat funny. But anyway, guys, I don't know. And I was going to finish out the, and we're also going to finally do the Un Poco Mas Hall of Fame. You guys aren't going to believe the benefits. I'm going to give you a membership card, secret password to the clubhouse. But yeah, Low Country Luton Pond is in. First ballot. Not a lurker. Number one intro, obviously. Being the our able seaman. No, our big wrench. Swinging a big wrench as he does. If you're going to be bald like that, you got to have a big wrench. Not a lurker does, believe me. Don't ask how I know that. Got a good basket on him. We're not talking Easter. Why is this show so genitally focused? I don't know. Dr. Freud would have a field day with me. Like, this fat guy has not seen his penis. Oh, that's Dr. Ruth. In 40 years. So he talks about it. I don't know. I just want to get why it's dropping, and they're finally now about to be profitable, but it keeps, I mean, again, same thing was happening with SoFi. Remember, they crushed it after gap. But remember, it can be a delayed fuse. It might take a few more quarters. It might be a full year of profitability. It might be institutional ownership coming back in much more. It might be institutions raising price. You'll know when they start to flip it and push it up. It happened like instantly with SoFi, where everybody hated the stock, and literally the next day, everybody loved the stock and it went to the moon. That's how fast it happens. They can't kill Nio. It doesn't look like it. It's not going to be killed. And if the cash burn stops, there's very little to keep hating on. The cars are good. I mean, anybody who sees these cars, drives these cars, looks at the technology. I mean, the supercars, the sedan, the SUV, they turn those things loose in Miami and Los Angeles and London and, Paris. Everybody's going to want one of those things. Every rapper. Know what I'm saying? Also, they call me DJ Patchy Drizzle, MC Al Dente. Oh, I hate being backseat driver on Nio, but I've got to say something. Consider hitting the road on this one. Yeah. No, I mean, it's fallen a lot. I mean, anytime a stock comes, from 8 down below 5, any logical person would admit, they would have, liked to sold, and it's a hell of a painful drop. And then you got to take your medicine. The thing is not racks full, not racks roast beef. I'm just going to call you Alfred because you keep changing your name, but Still look like the Man Magazine guy. Anyway. So yeah, I totally get what you're saying. They're not going to do a buyback. Are you kidding me? No, they're not. They're going to have to raise. I mean, they're going to have to raise money to buy back those shares. They don't have a huge cash runway or anything. They've been burning cash like at an alarming rate the last few years. So no, they're not going to do any share buybacks right now. Believe me. They've been talking about survival. No, it's definitely not the time for share buybacks or dividends or anything like that. That's years down the road. I mean, if it got to an extreme point and the shares were $2, maybe it would make sense for them to raise money or take a loan or use what cash they have to buy back shares. I'm not, trying to poo-poo your idea, but it's just the balance sheet is not, in share buyback mode. The balance sheet is in, let's try to get profitable before we have to dilute, Danny further. DDF, dilute Danny further. Not for FEPO, not for financial advice for entertainment purposes only. 10X? Oh, 10X has been going crazy. Noah and Wes. Oh, how's Jabroni Brains? Yeah, 10X. I think I was telling you guys to buy it in the 2s, maybe 3. Moved up into the 9s. Yeah, easy 3-bagger there. Easy 3-bagger. Warren overhang at 11 and 12 on 10X, but they'll blow right through it, guys. Just Lavasa Menden. This thing's going to be a juggernaut. They're going to sell hundreds of millions of dollars a year right away. Right away. It's not going to take 5 years. A couple years, they're going to ramp this turd. And this Aminatib is another really good drug. Dr. Rich's drug from Precision Biomed, or they bought out his company. And then they got, the medical dream team, not just Dr. Rich. They got, fucking, what's that Scottish guy's name or whatever? King's College. Declan Dugan. This guy was buying shares too. I mean, finally, and they're giving away shares faster than they can print them. But, this insider team was working out of a fucking mobile home or a mobile office or a shared office or a, Waffle House or whatever. So they've been through the lean times. Those 2 Roth deals, worst fundraising deals I've ever seen in my life for a company, but they had no choice. Roth, I think they're out of like Laguna Beach or something. Jesus. Those are the worst deals I've ever seen. I mean, 10X, I think they had some bad deals too. No, this is 10X I'm talking about. Sorry, guys. I'm so old and confused. Befuddled. Anyway, the biblioteca is right near the mess hall. You're going to want to jump the fence, sneak into the student dining, load up on chicken strips, jump the fence again, head over to the biblioteca and eat those chicken strips while you study. And if you've ever seen a fat guy jump a fence, it's an adventure. But if you're poor and you need to eat, you do what you got to do. Está muy cerca. You guys have good Espanol. Let's see. What's calculas? Love it. Well, that 10X. Well, what 10X? 10X or GMDA or what the hell are we talking about? Nio. 10X. I mean, off of 2, I think it'll 10X easily. I mean, SMMT. I guarantee. I 25X that bad boy in like less than 2 years. It happens, guys. Lightning strikes. I mean, people don't think it happens, but it happens. These stocks can go crazy. And, FDA approval is the biggie because they have the experience to ramp this thing. I mean, they're going to have partners for this. This drug is going to sell itself. Lavasa Menden, for HPEF. The FDA came around to everything they wanted. The walking test, the endpoint, the oral formulation substituted for IV from phase 2 to phase 3. It's a great concept they have there. Take these known drugs, convert them to oral formulations, get them to a wider audience, get patents. They have amazing patent protection on Lavasa Menden in Europe and the United States. They're getting new patents all the time, getting new patents for that in combination with other drugs. So great patent protection there on 10X. Love the stock. Now, do I love it at $9? Certainly not as much as I loved it at 2 or 3. I still think it's a compelling company, but I don't like to buy stocks after they 3X, But famous last words like Palantir. I'm the asshole who sold Palantir under 20 because it had just doubled. And I thought I was, the smartest guy in the room. Turns out I was just the fattest guy in the room. Not the same thing. Hey, you're a real fart smeller. I mean, smart feller. Guys, I got picked up the other day by Dog the Bounty Hunter. He didn't even offer me a cigarette. Was that one guy who was like jerking off in the Walmart parking lot, like his brother-in-law, Youngblood? So fucking ridiculous. This guy was like, involved in like a murder or manslaughter or something in Colorado, and then got his life straight, started putting on those like Native American stuff. My little brother loved that show. I'll hunt you down because I'm the dog. Like, we respect everybody. Like, get that motherfucker. And then they grab him and they're like, yeah, you're a good kid. I know your mom. Get the kid a cigarette. You're not from Hawaii, dude. You're not Hawaiian. You go total, white trash dude from anywhere. He's got beads on or something. Anyway, love the show. Dwayne Lee. All those kids running around like they're like running around with bear spray. Some little like 18-year-old girl. They're just like, get him. What the fuck, dude? They're even like hardened criminals. They're like people who got like a DUI or something and they're like sleeping at their mom's house. They're not even going. He's like, how do we find these people? Well, just check the address they gave us and go there. He's like, oh, he's not here, dog. He's at his cousin's. Like, all right, you know where that is? He's like, yeah, it's across the street. He's like, get that motherfucker. Oh, man. Like, you bailed the guy out. Relax, chief. It's a small island. Where the fuck is the guy going to go? He's either at work, he's at his grandma's, he's at home. They put the thing up on the whiteboard. He's like, okay. And then he starts trying to write like cursive and can barely write. Fucking ridiculous. You ever notice how people that are like barely literate try to do like really innate cursive or ornate? I said people are barely literate, then I used the wrong word, but glass houses. Fat people in glass houses shouldn't throw stones. But in any case, like people who are semi-literate always try to write in this very ornate, like cursive with all these like tails on it. It's like, dude, you're not proving anything to anybody. Like, you can't read, you walk into a library, pick up War and Peace because it's the biggest book you could find. You slam your wing in it. All you're going to do with that book is slam your wing in it. Try to get a little wing flattening. Heard of hair straightening, hair flatteners. Try wing flattening. It's a craze right now with all the Gen Zers. All these kids want a flat wing. Very difficult to do. Try bricks, cinder blocks. He died? I didn't know that. I wouldn't have been making fun of him. Sorry. I didn't know he died. He smoked a lot. Rest in peace. I just make fun of people. Believe it or not, I almost always make fun of people I like. Because honestly, he seemed like he's sort of like, he's a bounty, but he had like a spot because he was a troubled kid. So he kind of got these kids. Like they're not horrible people. They just made some bad choices. These aren't like murderers. So, dude, sorry, dog. If that's true, rest in peace, brother. Sorry, I made fun of you. I try not to make fun of like people who've died recently. I don't know why. I just find it disrespectful, but drop the ball on that one. Somebody get me a cigarette. Dunning-Kruger effect. Was that Kat Dunnings and Freddy Krueger? The girl from Two Broke Girls and the dude from the horror movies? What the hell are you talking about, No Tracks Full? He's still alive. Okay, let's make fun of him. But what about Youngblood who's jerking off in the... He was like, no, I was adjusting my pants. I think they had arrested him or something. It's like jerking off in a Walmart parking lot. You should jerk off at home. Pretty simple. It's not the thrill. I can't get it. I tried jerking off at a Walmart grocery. It's just not the same. They don't have an electronics department. Oh, you only have one VCR left? It's a Funai. Oh! You guys ever tried to buy a VCR lately? One company who made it like 10 years ago, a Funai. You could find them on like eBay. These old people still have tapes. And then every time they try to play one, it's like 20 years old and the tape breaks. Like, why doesn't it work? I'm like, because the fucking thing broke. They only have a lifespan of like 10 years. You tape this goddamn, you know, Larry Sanders show on HBO in 1982. It's fucking VHS cassettes, 43 years old. You haven't played it in 35 years. Of course it's going to break. So is that like HBO music? Hold on, guys. 1 sec. I'll be right back. Sorry, somebody knocking on the door. I thought it was the Popo, my parole officer. No, I got a full-size water here. What's going on? Anyway, guys, sorry. Yeah, Tiny Wang, you know how it is. The dog ain't dead. He's kicking, remarried, don't smoke no more. As for Youngblood yanking the cream. Well, good for him. Hey, good for him. Seriously, I wish him health and happiness, and smart to stop smoking, man. My very, very close friend of mine just passed of lung cancer. Heavy, heavy smoker. Great guy. I love the guy to death, but smoked like a couple packs of cigarettes a day for 50 years. You're gonna have issues. You know, some people don't. You know, some people don't. I have another relative smoked for, I don't know, 70 years. No problems, you know. I don't know. It's just the luck of the draw. I had another aunt who died of lung cancer, who never smoked or even looked at a cigarette in her entire life. Just, you know, luck of the draw, I guess. So much of it's genetic, environmental factors. I mean, I know your personal decisions make a huge difference, but a lot of it is just out of your hands. Just however the old chromosomes lined up, I guess, huh? Anyway, small Peter, not to be confused with Saint Peter. Blasphemy. I don't know what I said. Planet Fitness has a good aqua massage. I don't know. I never go in there. I haven't been in there in like 6-7 years. I just like to see the statement on my credit card. Ask me about internet health clubs. I'm actually developing a widget. It's going to be an app for your phone or your PC. It's going to have a little tiny figure that works out and does calisthenics constantly down the corner of your screen. Push-ups, jumping jacks, burpees, 3 count, 5 count, 7 count burpees. It's going to be exercising constantly for you. So it's going to be virtual, remote, online health clubs. You don't even have to lift a finger. It's going to have a widget exercising for you in AI at all times. So we're all going to be in fantastic shape. We're going to have abs like Anatoly. Please hold my mop. Samantha Mop 2.0. Dude, I wish I had a 60-pound mop. I would never have to clean. I'm too old and weak to lift that mop, Anatoly. I'm just going to have a nice Hungry Man TV dinner and watch some football. Anyway, guys, that's pretty much the show. I don't really know what it has to do with anything. Paid $400 for his first ECR. Look at D-Load making profit. Michael Anthony D-Load. I will. I'll do a D-Load video just for you. I'm very curious about it. I actually did take a quick look at it, but I don't know that much about it. It's embarrassing not to see your wiener. Yeah, I can see mine now, so I'm not as fat as I used to be. I could always pretty much see my wiener. Just a lot of these are bits. You know? I was fat, but not that fat. I still am fat. Still, I am that fat, but not that fat. I guess my wang isn't that tiny because I can still see it, but I'm fat. And it came out, yeah, Sony. I remember buying that Discman, man. It was expensive as hell. Not a lurker so young, he doesn't even know what a VCR is. I think it's one of those things you use to polish your head. Horrible cast. Terrible, terrible. Anyway, guys, I gotta go. It has been really the honor of my lifetime entertaining you 3 schlubs that are still watching. I appreciate it. Not a lurker, thank you so much, my good friend, my bald brother, my bald, beautiful brother. We appreciate you, J Money. Thanks everybody else. Flip Top, Alfred E. Newman, No Tracks Full, everybody. John 324. We got Tim West 6199. We got Michael Anthony, the champion of DLO. Everybody look at DLO. Buy some DLO. Get Michael Anthony off my back. I can be your hero, baby. Thank you, Michael. I would like to see Michael Anthony in a white flowing shirt. Just, you know, I can be your hero. I don't even know if that's the right guy. Let's see. Planet Fitness. Got Flip Top, of course. I just want to play one. Thank you. I just want to play one. We got the great Jimbo Roofer. Thanks for joining us again, Jimbo Roofer. Appreciate it. We've seen you a couple times. Returning customer. Returning customer. Boom, it's all bone burns these days. You boys need a refresher course. John still uses 1-inch tape. I guess that's to measure his wiener. It's exactly one strip. No, John, just kidding. Is that what they used to do in the military to decide if you were gay? Tape your wiener and then show you some gay porn. Got a boner, they'd throw you out. Or if they got a boner, they'd keep you. I don't know. Figure you're an angry masturbator. Good on the front lines. I have no idea. Dunning-Kruger effect. Dumb people overestimate their confidence. Yeah, well. Chunky is charged, my friend. Look, we may have to think about a little here forever. What does your dumb fuck intuition tell you? Watch the lights. Debunked rumor. Oh, yeah, his wife died. That's right. Yeah, his wife, Bethy, who I believe was a champion jump roper. Interestingly enough. Rest in peace, Bethy. Not sure. Just summed up human nature. Bear spread. Watch that show. Buy more, bitches. Indeed, Flip Top. I got the great Zalek 8896. Were you attracted to big? No, I wasn't. Not at all. No. Not shitting my people. Give them a rusty trump. I shouldn't have said that. Gordo y guapo. Oh, I'm a little of both. I'll have a little bit of both. Chicken and fish. Chicken with a side of fish. Funky. CRISPR's continuing buyout chatter. Whether it gets bought out or not, it's grotesquely undervalued. That pipeline is worth many, many times that. I think Vertex wants to buy them. They just can't agree on the number. I mean, Vertex is in deep trouble with some of their legacy stuff. Far too much concentration. They not only need to ramp the program they have with CRISPR, but they need to get in bed CRISPR as much as they can before somebody else does. Because now you can get in for a reasonable price. You know, when they start getting FDA approval or getting close to FDA approval on some of these bigger like cardiovascular, autoimmune, it's game over. You're not going to be able to buy them out. You're not going to be able to buy a piece. You're not going to be able to buy a program. You're not going to be able to spare a square. So get in while you can, turds. We got the great Noah West, Jaboni Brains. Thanks for stopping by. I haven't seen you in a while, brother. Hope everybody's doing good. Let me put my brother on the phone. We talked about some of you people. No tracks full. SRM contracting, great SRM contracting. You know, everything, nothing. Just trying to get through the day. I've been completely insane. Thanks for joining us. Who else stopped by? Just want to play one. Thanks for stopping. Thank you. Appreciate it. The great Naughty Lurker, great Michael Anthony. We already talked about you. You are so amazing. Labo M. Thanks for joining us. Appreciate your kind words, by the way. That's very nice of you. I'm really not that smart. Do your own research. Don't listen to me. I try to give you my honest opinion, but it's just that. It doesn't mean it's right. I'm wrong a lot. I'm wrong a lot. A lot. So take everything I say with a huge grain of salt. Felix used to follow Nio, but now he never mentions it. He was on Nio big time. Yeah, he did make more than one, I think. Yeah, I mean, because it's down. Yeah, I mean, okay. I mean, guys, it's like, come on, grow up. Stocks go down. Sometimes we're wrong. We're down. We lose. You know, big deal. What is your ego? It doesn't make your wiener tiny. Doesn't make you a bad guy. All you're trying to do is be right much of the time or most of the time or as much as you can and make money. Anybody who thinks they're never going to be wrong is just ridiculous. I mean, what a baseball, you know, an amazing Hall of Fame player, you know, gets a hit 3 out of 10 times. I know that's sort of an overused, stupid thing to say, but anyway, Tim West, the great Tim West, 61.99. Appreciate you joining us. Really appreciate it. Flip Top, Double Wide, everybody else. I don't think I missed anybody, but I'm not getting all the way back. G3T Dinero. Retail took all the pain. Yep, you're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. William Schreitmuller, 9873. You're indeed funny. You just want a Neo insight. We'd be watching Mr. P. Yeah. Mr. P is not funny, but he does have a giant head, so I'll give him that. We got to look at the fireside chat. We're going to do that. I think I talked to everybody else. Shrootmar, Zalik, 8896. Total beefcake. Thank you, sir. Total man meat. Total flabalanche. Find the wiener. Let's see. He's not a trader. Just talks a lot. The great Sean Vaughn. The great Sean Vaughn is here. My own personal Uncle Fester. Welcome and hello, sir. Better for the environment? Well, not yet, but it will be. So you have a point. Like battery manufacturing is still, at a relatively small scale, but in China, I think it's already better for the environment. It's not laughable at all. EV will be better for the environment. Battery technology is evolving where you're not going to need a lot of toxic stuff in the batteries pretty soon. They're figuring out how to do clean batteries. They might not have the capacity of these exotics, but you don't need it. You don't need it. Most people drive 5, 10, 20 miles a day tops. Most people do not have long commutes. Most people do not go on long road trips, but a couple times a year. Go to Hertz, rent a fucking Honda Accord if you want to drive across the country and you have range anxiety, tiny wing anxiety, whatever it is. Never say crashes, say pull back. Yeah, I know more Neo than when I started. Yeah, Billy Jack, me too. If Neo pulls it off, fellas, yeah, we'll all be rich. We'll all be living off the fat of the land. And Poco, small dick guy, thanks, Jungo 311. I've never technically claimed to have a tiny dick. So it's just a bit, guys. It's a bit. I may or may not. You're not going to find out. I'm not going to drop trout. You got to join my OnlyFans. Then you can find out. Let's see. If Neo turns a profit in Q3, since it'll be non-GAAP, will the market still? Yeah, I think because GAAP accounting is a big meaningless. It doesn't GAAP versus non-GAAP. As long as you know what's in the number, you can, interpret it. Like GAAP profitability is a highly overrated metric. It doesn't mean anything. Like it means something, but it's just what everybody has, decided is this, the standard accounting practices, whatever. But for a lot of companies, it makes sense and it's a good metric. And for other companies at other stages, like prop, it is absolutely irrelevant. Or it's worse than irrelevant. It's very, very misleading. It is relevant, but you have to know how to look at it in context. You have to look at EBITDA. You have to look at operating income, on those companies. But anyway, it is what it is, guys. Yeah, so we already talked about that one, double wide. Hopefully lung cancer, not too long. Melanoma already approved. Good night, Clap, my dog. You already left like an hour ago. Not a lurker. Stephen the Mountains. Thanks, Stephen the Mountains. Appreciate you. The great Billy Jack. I don't know why I like to say everybody's name who watched. People like to hear their name. Jimbo Roofer, we already talked about. Yeah, I can't go back. The great Carl Seamark. The great Carl Seamark. Yeah, it's been tough, Carl. It's been very tough. Can't stay and watch live today. Just wanted to pop in and make you feel alone. Well, thank you, Carl. Appreciate it. Always good to hear from the Mattress King of Chicago himself, in the person, in the flesh, and horizontal. He is bouncing on the bed as we speak, just testing out those inner springs. Him and the missus. Anyway, guys, I really appreciate it. Carl, everybody else, the great Not a Lurker. I have talked to you guys for 1.5 hours and have said almost nothing of any use or import. So that is a skill in of its own right. Un poco mas, guys. Thanks so much for watching. I really appreciate it. Peace. I'm out. Sorry, I missed the button.